Caitlin Clark is one of the biggest names in college basketball right now. She's all over the headlines, making plays for Iowa that people can't stop talking about. But we're not just here to hype her up. We're here to dig into the real story, the harsh truth about Caitlin Clark. Let's be real. When you're as good as Caitlin Clark, the pressure is insane. The media builds you up as the next big thing, fans expect perfection, and your team leans on you every single game. That's a lot for anyone, especially someone still in college. Sure, Caitlin's out here putting up ridiculous numbers, but when she doesn't, the critics don't waste time, they pounce. Mentally, that takes a toll. College athletes already face huge pressure, but when you're the face of women's college basketball, it's on another level. Caitlin's handling it well, but let's not kid ourselves. It's anything but easy. And speaking of critics, they're everywhere. The more you rise, the more people want to tear you down. Some say she shoots too much. Others say she's not a team player. Then you've got people constantly comparing her to other stars, just looking for flaws in her game. Is it fair? Probably not. But that's what comes with being a high-profile athlete. Here's the thing, though. Caitlin doesn't owe anyone perfection. She's out there doing things on the court that most people can only dream of. She's human. She'll have bad games. But that doesn't take away from her insane talent and work ethic. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. Caitlin Clark is doing all of this in women's basketball. If a guy was putting up these kinds of stats, he'd be on ESPN 24/7, and major brands would be lining up with deals. But in women's sports, it's different. The recognition, the respect, it's just not the same. Caitlin's doing more than just winning games. She's shifting the way people view women's basketball. But that's not easy either. She faces scrutiny that players like Steph Curry or LeBron might never have to deal with. That's the reality she's living in. So what's next for Caitlin? The WNBA seems like the obvious next step. But here's the harsh truth. The WNBA doesn't offer the kind of money or fame that the NBA does. Sure, Caitlin will keep being a star, but the opportunities just aren't the same for female athletes. But one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark is changing the game. She's elevating women's sports, inspiring future players, and proving that women's basketball deserves the spotlight. Being a superstar isn't all highlights and glory. There's pressure, there's criticism, and there's the constant challenge of breaking barriers in a sport that's still fighting for equal respect. But Caitlin Clark? She's built for this. Whether you love her, hate her, or just respect her game, one thing's clear, she's the real deal.